48, Warrington Wolves 24, and a game in Vegas where quite simply that scoreline flatters the wire. Yet again on the biggest stage, Warrington quite simply not up to the challenge. Wigan been there, got it, the t-shirt, got the lot, and produced a display that was quite befitting of their status as World Club Champions. I would hope now that the Australian media put real pressure on the Penrith Panthers based on that brilliant performance from the Wigan Warriors to tie these two up for an absolute grandioso game for the World Club Championship in 2025. I, for one, want to see that. I'm sure you do too. The bottom line here, Warrington got off to a decent start. It was a good arm wrestle for the first 10 minutes or so. And then after that, it really was a case of how many would Wigan score. It really was. People say Wigan took the foot off the gas at the end. I don't think a Matty Peake team does that. Credit to Warrington for, a lot of teams that have just rolled over and just let the scoreboard run out. Well done to Warrington getting those last four tries in the second half to make it somewhat respectable on the scoreboard. But the bottom line is this. Warrington missed 48 tackles in this game. 48 against Wigan. That's not good enough. Last year, they averaged 26 a match. I mean, the tackle efficiency was down to 85.6%. Last year, that efficiency was just short of 92%. It was a massive defensive fall off this from Warrington. We've all given Sam Burgess and his coaching staff so much credit in 2024 for the improvements in the defence of the Warrington Wolves. Quite frankly, it wasn't there in Las Vegas last night. No doubt about that whatsoever. It was a poor display from Warrington. It could have been a lot worse, and I think they'll be thankful that they got out of there 48 points. 24. Look, it's round 3. We say this all the time. It's not over. I mean, there's a long way to go, but Wigan are a champion side. The quality of their rugby league on that stage, it lit up Vegas. It lit up the entire event. No wonder they want us back for next season. Wigan, for me, they are an incredible rugby league team. Are they equal to the Penrith Panthers? I mean, let's be fair. They're outstanding, both teams. Penrith 4 times NRL winners. Wigan now back-to-back Super League winners. Who would say they can't go for the triple this year? They're currently holding all the aces. Let's make that World Club Challenge happening, because I'll tell you what, Vegas was big. That could be bigger with the right marketing against it. I mean, let's get into some of the detail. First of all, the tries. What we wanted was quality tries in Vegas, and Wigan gave us so many. I mean, at times they were going through Warrington like a hot knife through butter. Some exceptional runs from the likes of Jaifield, Bevan French, real quality throughout the park. Really good performance this from Wigan. But what I want to do is I want to highlight a genuine superstar. We are seeing a genuine superstar on the rise. We always say Bevan French is the only superstar in Super League. No. There is another. It's called Junior Nsemba, 20 years of age, the Young Player of the Year 2024. And what he did last night in Vegas was quite simply exceptional, exquisite. I mean, some of his offloading, his run's got a wonderful feet, he's got a wonderful step. Everything that's great about Junior Nsemba we saw in Vegas last night. He's one of our own. He's English. He is going to be sensational for England in the long term. How happy are the Wigan Warriors fans and Wigan that they've tied Junior and Bevan French down to long-term contracts, because there's no doubt they are going to have tempting offers come in now for these two. There's no doubt. Halfbacks are a premium in both the Southern and the Northern Hemisphere. Bevan French is a superstar and could grace any NRL side. Junior Nsemba, probably one of the most exciting prospects, if not the most exciting prospect in World Rugby League. Not only wrong, I don't think they're going anywhere soon, but there's no doubt that the NRL now, these two players are right on their radar. We don't want them to leave Super League. Wigan Warriors fans don't want them to leave Super League. We want to continue to see these play in our game. But the bottom line is, with performances like that, they are going to get so much attention in the Australian press and in boardrooms up and down Australia. Junior Nsemba is an incredible talent. I mean, he won the Young Player of the Year last year, and what we saw was a real, dare I say it, the potential for the greatest player in World Rugby League in the years to come. That is how good I believe Junior Nsemba is, and last night he showed it on the biggest stage. He scored 7 tries last year. He's not gone off and running yet in Super League this year, but I expect he will topple that this season. His try assisting last year, bottom line is it just wasn't quite there. It has to be said. This year, I think he's going to, again, blow the roof off on that as well in terms of the statistics. But some key ones in terms of, what is a second row all about? They're about meters, they're about tackle busts, they're about creating opportunities. A lot of the time, it'll be finished by your centre and your winger. Let's get into a bit of detail there. 62 tackles up to now in Super League in 3 rounds for Junior Nsemba. That's a glide path of 557 versus last year's 517. That will be an increase of 7.7%. Tackle bust, 23 thus far this season on a glide path for 206. I'll say that again, 206. That is unbelievable. He only got 94 last year. That would be an improvement of 219%. And you know what? I won't bet against him. Carries 43 he's had up to now this season. He's on a glide path to increase that this season by 386 last year, up by 160% this year, and his meters up by 102 on his current glide path. Everything that Junior Nsemba is doing, he's showing us all, and we're witnessing it every single week. The growth, the development of what will be, for me, one of the greatest talents ever to grace the English game and potentially the world of rugby league. That is how coveted this lad is. I said 2 years ago, when Delaney and Nsemba were coming through at the same time, which one I felt was going to be the better player. And at the moment, it's turning out that way. If you don't believe me, go and check in the sheds in 2023. Go and watch Super League Raw Weekly in 2023. I called it. There was something about this guy, and he's absolutely different gravy. And it's right that on this edition of In the Sheds, we get into some detail and we give him the praise that he deserves. This guy is an incredible talent, and we should celebrate him. Get to the grounds, go and watch him, because at some point he will go to the NRL. There's no doubt about that, because that is where he deserves to be. He is that good. Warrington Wolves, this isn't good for them. Again, let's be fair, not there on what was a grandiose scale. It did have the feel this of a final. It was an event feeling. Yet again, Warrington not there at the races. There will be severe conversations now being had. There was a lot of Warrington fans who were a bit concerned. Did they have enough weight in the pack going into the new season? There's no doubt they were bullied, absolutely bullied by the Wigan Warriors in Vegas. They dominated right down the middle throughout. There was no doubt about that. I thought Jimmy Harrison, when he came on for Warrington, showed what they're missing. Harrison had some really good moments, not just his try, but 12 carries, 94 meters in a very, very short space of time. Got through some really good work, did Jimmy Harrison. But, Paul Vaughan limited to 95-15. He's not in and out of the team a little bit at the moment. Luke Yates, only 68 from him. I do feel as if that's an area that Warrington might want to tidy up. Dan Norman's had a decent first 2 games, but for me, looks a bit leggy in this one. That could be a concern for Warrington on the right edge. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. I don't know. And I felt, unfortunately, in this game, and I don't want to pick him out, but for Oliver Leyland in this particular game, just looks as if he needs to mature as a player. He was shooting out the line, trying to, and that was creating massive problems. He wasn't, he was trying to fix things himself. So I think Ollie, in a defensive capacity, he was being targeted. He was being targeted all night long. But you'd expect that. We had 9 missed tackles on the night. You'd expect Wigan to target that. But he was shooting out the line too much for me, and that again would be a problem for Warrington long term. Look, I don't want to pour scorn on Warrington. They came up against their proper outfit last night, and that's the bottom line. If any team, I don't care who you are, if you're off and Wigan are playing to that standard, you're going to lose. And let's not forget, Warrington did do a similar thing to Wigan at the Brick Community Stadium last year. But the difference is Wigan can just shake that off and move on. They're a champion team. What will be the reaction now against Wakefield at Halliwell Jones Stadium next week? That is going to be a very, very interesting game indeed. And I, for one, will be looking forward to seeing that. But you look at the Wigan Warriors, all of the key players having really good games. Marshall on the edges, Bevan French in the middle. Harry Smith given far too much time in this game by the Warrington Wolves defence. And he was just measuring kicks. Interesting tactic as well, using the size of Junior Nsemba against Josh Fulis on that side. They kept going there time and time again, and they had loads of joy with regards to that. So, credit must be given, I believe, to the Wigan Warriors on that, because I think that was a really good game plan going into the game. You cannot afford to give Harry Smith that amount of room. I don't care which team you are, because if you do, we say it here on Super League Raw, he's the unsung hero of the Wigan Warriors. He knows how to control a game, and if you give him time, he will measure a kick as good as Mark Sneed. I don't care what anybody says. Harry Smith, a genuine game management specialist, if ever there was one in Super League. I mean, so much if you're a Wigan Warriors fan to be excited about. As far as Super League is concerned, all the other teams must be wincing, including St. Helens, who've got off to a great start this season. This is a team that, quite frankly, is going to take a lot to dethrone. It really is. That's how good they were. Warrington, not at the races, not good enough on that stage. It's as simple as that. Major conversations, I'm sure, are going to be had behind closed doors by everybody to do with Warrington. Where does this leave them? It's 3 games in. It's not a disaster. But did we see in this team, in that game, in that one game, and also the first 2 games this season, have we seen a Warrington Wolves side at this moment in time that anybody will believe can go to Old Trafford and win the grand final? I think you'd really struggle. I think the most ardent Warrington fan would struggle to say that is a possibility. But bottom line is, let's celebrate. We've been to Vegas. It was a brilliant occasion. I loved the pre-game. I love Rossi in commentary. I thought everything about it just said a little bit that maybe we're on the map. Maybe the NRL are looking from a financial perspective, getting involved. Volandis, is he going to, we heard Matty Johns before the game saying, he should come over and actually get involved because he's an absolute incredible businessman when it comes to promoting sports. I would welcome that. I think everybody would welcome that. So many talking points off the back of this game. It's a different type of In the Sheds, this one. And I'm really going to be looking forward to talking about this with the Final Whistle podcast with Super League Raw members. Also, of course, on Round Unpacked and on Super League Raw Weekly. This one, I think, will rumble on and on and on. What is the fallout now of Vegas? One thing's for certain, the fallout for the Wigan Warriors is 2 championship points and an absolute statement of intent that they want to hold on to all the silverware. On that showing, I hope they've got enough brasso. Right, let's get in to the 3-2-1. Where are we going to? Well, the 1 point I'm going to have to give to Jai Field. A great performance from Field. Field is back to his best. A brilliant try, 2 assists from him on the night, 16 carries, 137 metres, 6 tackles, a clean break as well. Just a 1 error. Outstanding performance from Jai. He's coming back to his best. 2 points has to go to Bevan French. I mean, he just lights up a rugby league field, doesn't he? A try, an assist from Bevan French on the night. He had 10 tackles, 3 clean breaks. He tortured the Warrington Wolves, 18 carries, 209 metres, quite simply exceptional. However, the 3 points are going to go to the man I've spoke about the most, Junior Nsemba, on the biggest stage. I mean, many a young 20-year-old would have cracked under that amount of pressure, would maybe have gone into the shell. Not Junior. An incredible performance from Nsemba. A brilliant assist on the night. 17 tackles, 7 tackles, 12 carries, 103 metres. Everything that lad did yesterday was 24-carat gold. It really was. Get in the minds. Go and get the purest gold. That's what it was. I am loving Junior Nsemba. He's a genuine superstar in rugby league. And quite frankly, you can't live with the Wigan Warriors. Wigan Warriors 48, Warrington Wolves 24. Off to Vegas we go again next year, but who will it be? We'll be back with more In the Sheds.